For all his dreams of global dominance, Xi Jinping is facing his biggest challenge at home, perhaps the toughest of his political career. Hong Kong has been protesting. Tens of thousands of people have been protesting, and this has gone on for more than 2 months now. The agitation is becoming bigger, even violent. This weekend, Hong Kong was the picture of mayhem. Yet again, police was overwhelmed by thousands of protesters on the streets. This began 8 weeks ago. The protest started against a proposed bill. A bill that would have opened the doors for extraditions from Hong Kong to the Chinese mainland. The bill has since been shelved, but the protest hasn't abated. In fact, it has expanded. This is now a movement about the future of Hong Kong. On Sunday, there were violent clashes between the protesters and the police. The protesters were trying to go to the Chinese government's office in the city. The police fired tear gas and rubber bullets in an attempt to stop them. According to multiple reports, tens of thousands of protesters took over the streets on Sunday. There was total chaos on the streets. Hong Kong is ranked as one of the safest cities in the world, but right now the city looks like a battleground. Every weekend, the streets of Hong Kong are filled with tear gas. Protesters take to the streets. They're armed with umbrellas, goggles and protective helmets. These weekly protests are now becoming a headache for Beijing. Last week, the office of the Chinese liaison was targeted. Protesters threw black paint on the walls and the Chinese government emblem. The office is now heavily fortified. News agency Reuters reported that plastic barricades have been placed outside the building. The government emblem has been covered with a plastic shield. The Chinese state appears weak before these protesters. First, China pretended that this isn't happening. Now China is threatening these people. The government in Beijing called an unprecedented press conference over this. They supported the embattled leader of Hong Kong, Carrie, and they said the protesters must be punished.
中央政府坚决支持林郑月娥行政长官带领特区政府依法施政，坚决支持香港警方严正执法，坚决支持特区政府有关部门和司法机构依法惩治犯罪分子，坚决支持爱国爱港人士捍卫香港法治的行动。
But Beijing's tough approach is only going to make matters worse. The people of Hong Kong, you see, are angry about the constant Chinese interference in their affairs. Hong Kong is a former British colony. It became a special administrative region for China in 1997. It is now governed under the principle of one country, two systems. Back in 1997, China had promised to give Hong Kong wide-ranging autonomy, but under Xi Jinping, that promise has not been kept. The distinctive status of the city has sharply eroded. The protesters are especially upset about one thing. Hong Kong does not have a democratically elected government. Leaders of Hong Kong are appointed by Beijing. They're not elected like they should be in a democratic system. The protesters are also angry about the high-handed methods deployed by the local police to control their campaign. Last week, remember, these protesters were allegedly attacked by tirade gangs. That only added more fuel to the fire. Pro-democracy lawmakers in Hong Kong now say that Beijing is only making the situation worse.
The vision, the impression of Hong Kong is simply fundamentally wrong. They're so far away from Hong Kong people's real sentiments and demands, and they tried to make some feeble attempt to help retain what they assume would be security problems in Hong Kong. But then that wouldn't help the crises, the governance and political crisis Hong Kong is facing.